talked a little bit about, which is about like my anxiety journey, and you know, I think I've always been an anxious person. I don't really know. I'm trying to just like, I don't know, figure it out a little bit.
I've always been someone with anxiety.
Someone, okay, what's the difference?
Anxiety doesn't define who you are.
I guess I have a bit of trouble with that because I feel like it is so much of like my personality. It's hard to even think about myself without it. Like, who am I without that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always my most anxious in the mornings. A whole day ahead to be nervous about. And the worries wake up before I really do. I'm embarrassed by how much the weather impacts me. I get flashes of anxiety all the time. Maybe something I said to my friends last weekend that makes me question why they put up with me. It's okay to have an opinion, right? So many people are so unapologetic with theirs. But I'm anxious about where I am, where I'm going. I want to be good. I just hope my parents are proud of me. I try to take a deep breath, to be grateful for what I have, to hug my cat. But it always comes rushing back. That lingering worry, that itching concern, and the big question, was I always this way?
But then a noise outside the house breaks her concentration. Scott's heart leaps as someone tries her locked front door.
I was listening to a podcast. I often do. It's comforting to fill your head with other people's stories. But today it's not doing its job. I'm on my way to my parents' house. Well, not their house. They sold the house I grew up in when we all got older and moved away. They had to mail me a key from Florida. I feel uneasy. Still, being here is a pang of nostalgia. The same furniture I made forts out of as a kid now rearranged in this strange place. My baby face staring out at me from the walls. I'm lucky my mom is so sentimental and so obsessively organized. Searching my childhood memories is easier than finding a book in a library, though I worry how much I'll be able to really see myself. I think I was a happy kid. In almost every photo, I'm smiling. I had such chubby cheeks. But it's hard to know what you thought after you think it. Memory is always colored by what's happening now. I want to have been okay. To have simply caught something somewhere along the way. But I know that's not the case. Between the smiling photos, I can see the worry that was always there, pushing me to succeed, but also to hide. To hold it all in. I take a breath. I'm overwhelmed by the inevitability of it all. How do I keep moving forward? I head over to my sister's house. I want to talk to her. I catch her in the middle of putting together furniture for the baby's room. On top of being my sister and a fellow anxiety sufferer, she's a kick-ass therapist. If anyone can help me understand where I've been and where to go from here, it's her.
Oh no, Georgie Beans.
What do you remember about like me as a kid? I feel like this worry has always been there, and maybe I just didn't acknowledge it or understand it. Like, what do you remember? Like, what was I like in your eyes?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously to some degree, I just always saw you as my little brother.
Yeah.
But one thing that, and I know we were chatting about this a little bit, but that really stands out to me is like, you were always sick.
Yeah.
Very sick. And I wonder what, if any, of that was sort of like the physical manifestations of your anxiety when you were younger, of feeling so stressed out and so anxious that your body was like literally having these physiological responses of being sick all the time.
At the time, I was just like, wow, I get sick a lot. It's actually, I had a teacher called me Sneezy, because I was the sick kid in the class. I would always get sick. It was not even on my radar as something to think about, that like a little kid could be feeling that way.
No,
Yeah.
like that wasn't in our like verbiage, but yeah.
You little anxious boy, don't seem very anxious.
Because I'm medicated.
Yes. See, this is why
And
we take
because
meds.
my people are here, so
This is
there's
why we
nothing to
take
be stressed
meds.
about.
Is that something you think that just is gonna be around forever? I just gotta kind of learn to cope, learn to deal with it, maybe learn to love it as a part of myself in some way.
That's a great question. I think, no universal answer. I think it's something that certainly will come and go throughout your life and show up in different severities.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for most people who can look back at sort of their history and recognize it's always there, I think to some degree it always will be. But we'll be able to cope with it in different ways and to different capacities at different times. And
Yeah. How important is it just for, I guess, one, just to talk about things? Like, is that the biggest thing, is just not hiding?
yes, 1000%.
So I guess that's that. In some way, I'll always be like this. But it doesn't have to always feel the same. If I keep talking about it, if I keep being open with the people I love, the people that love me. I've actually been really anxious these last few weeks. I was working on something and it wasn't really going my way. I was putting so much pressure on myself, barely sleeping. But I talked about it and ultimately ended up with all this. It's not perfect, but I'm happy I got through it. That I kept talking. That I kept moving forward.